Okay, so question number 1 here. So it says, it's giving us a little instruction about percentage, and it's good to talk about it. Percents are simply fractions with a denominator of 100. For example, 20% is just another way to write 20 per 100. That's right. And it's important that we talk about that for just a minute, because you all are becoming teachers of this material. So you want to be an expert, not just how do you solve the problem, but like, what is it? What does it really mean? Let's talk about what they just said. 20% means, let me just write out the word percent. Percent. Century is 100 years, isn't it? Or a cent is 1/100th of a dollar. So when we say 20%, we are saying 20 per 100. That's what we're saying. 20 per 100, 20%, 20 per century, 20 per 100. So 20% means 20 per 100. That's what they're telling us on this problem. That's the real meaning of the percent. That's why, here, let me do it this way. That's why the symbol has 2 zeros and a divide. Have you ever thought about that? You ever stayed up late at night thinking, why does that symbol have a divide and 2 zeros? Of course not. That's just what weird math teachers do, I know. But it means divide by 100. That's exactly what it's saying. The symbol itself is telling you divide by 100. That's where there's a divide and 2 zeros. It's saying divide by 100. So 20% means 20 divided by 100. And you know, when you divide by 100, that makes the decimal go back 2 places, right? When you divide by 10, decimal goes back 1 place. Divide by 100, 2 zeros, decimal goes back 2 places. That's why we always move the decimal 2 places, you see, because that's the very meaning of percent. It means divide by 100, per cent per 100, divide by 100. So the decimal goes back 2 places. And so real life, let me give one more real life and then we'll dive into this question, because this is important, right? If you're going to teach other people, you want to be a master of this. So like, for example, last night I watched a baseball game. So if I said 20% of the crowd was wearing hats, there wasn't actually too many people in the crowd because these are the COVID days. But anyway, if 20% of the crowd was wearing hats at a baseball game, what does that mean? And there's thousands and thousands of people normally, not right now, but normally at a baseball game, 30,000, 40,000, whatever, tons of people. So what does it mean when we say 20% of the crowd was wearing hats? I mean, what is that, 20 people? No, we know it's not that. What does that really mean, 20%? How would you explain that? How can you say that in simple, straight ahead words that tell somebody, like tell a younger person who's never learned percentage, what does that mean? When you have thousands of people in the crowd, 20% of the crowd is wearing hats. Any ideas? Anybody put that in their own words? What's that mean? 20% of the crowd was wearing hats. What is that? Maybe your silence indicates to me I should say more, or maybe it means you're just often doing the homework. Probably a little both. It means 20 per every 100. Right? Again, 20% means 20 per 100. Meaning, if you took the whole crowd and spread the hat wearers out evenly among the whole crowd, there'd be 20 wearing hats for every group of 100. If you could spread them out evenly throughout the entire stadium with thousands and thousands of people, in every group of 100 people, you'd have 20 that have on hats. 20 per every 100. Does that make sense? That's what it really means when we say a percentage. It means per 100 again. So 20% of the crowd, and even if there's thousands and thousands in the crowd, that means 20 per every 100. You could spread out the hat wearers evenly throughout the stadium. there'd be 20 in every 100. Every group of like 100 people, you'd have 20 that are wearing hats, right? And that means 80 no hats out of every group of 100 throughout the entire stadium. That's what that would mean. When you say percentage, that's what you're meaning. You're meaning per 100. So that's valuable to know, especially since you're becoming a teacher of this material. All right, enough with the theory and that kind of stuff. Let's just crank out the problem now, which I think you could do before I even began to talk. Let's see, the TV set was originally $800. Last week it went 20% off. What's the new price? You know how to do that, right? We just take 20% of the $800, don't we? And of means multiply. 20% change to a decimal. Of means multiply. So you take 0.20 times 800, don't you? You know that already, I think. And you get $160. That's 20%. That's 20 per 100, or 1/5, right? 20 per 100 reduces to be 1/5 if you divide the top and bottom by 20. So that's 1/5 of 800. It's $160. Now that's not the answer, is it? Because that's how much off. It's $160 off of the original price. So the original price of 800 subtract $160, and we get, what is that going to be? Use your calculator if you need to. $640. So that's the current price, the new price of the TV. We marked it down 20%. So we took 20% of the $800, and of means times, change to a decimal, get $160 off, subtract the $160. So there we go.